G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life. And a few months ago I reviewed a B7 Audi RS4. It was four-wheel drive, 4.2 litre V8 and a 6-speed manual transmission. Up there as probably one of the very best cars that I've ever driven. And if you think about it, I mean, what other car can you think of that has four-wheel drive, a V8 and a 6-speed manual? I certainly can't think of it. Oh, hang on, that's right. This is a Volkswagen Passat W8, an extremely odd car. On the outside, it just looks like any old Passat. It doesn't have a lip kit around the bottom. It doesn't even have a little spoiler. The only thing that sets it apart from a standard 2-litre 4-cylinder Passat is the very, very cool looking wheels and the quad tips at the back, along with the W8 4Motion logos on the front and back of the car. But in every other regard, it is just another silver sedan. However, that is not why this Passat is interesting. It's interesting because of what lies under the bonnet. This is a one-of-one 4-litre Volkswagen-made W8. Now, what on earth is a W8, you may ask? Well, it's effectively two VR4s joined together at the crank. But of course, because this is a W8, there is two of them, a VR4 on one side and a VR4 on the other side, making a 4-litre W8 that produces 276 horsepower, about 206 kilowatt and 370 Newton meters. And if that wasn't weird enough for you, it's going through a 4Motion 4-wheel drive system and, even more weird, a 6-speed manual transmission. I'm told that this particular example of the Passat W8 with a manual gearbox is just one of 3 in New Zealand and one of only about 700 worldwide, so truly a privilege to get to film with such a rare and unique car. The steering wheel looks a bit old manny, but it is very high quality. All the buttons feel nice, the leather is really good. I love the gauges on these. It looks very similar to the Mark IV Golf R32. Down here in the center stack, there is a lot of buttons because this car has a lot of features, and everything all looks and feels very nice and easy to use. The manual change on this is a very long throw, and it's a very, very gritty gear change. You can feel all the gears meshing through the shift knob here, which is quite cool. The seats are fantastic, very, very comfortable, nice high quality leather and lots of adjustment here on the side, so it's easy to get a great driving position. And there's heaps of room in the back as well, despite the fact that this has a great big drive shaft running down the middle here. Overall, even though it's now a 20-year-old interior, it is still a lovely place to sit. Driving the Manuel W8 Passat. Oh wow, first is very short. Oh. The only thing is I just wish you could hear the engine a little bit more because it makes such a lovely, interesting sound. It's just too bad that it's kind of lost. But in terms of everything else besides the engine, the power is lovely, the ride quality is excellent, but any moment you can rev match down the gears. It revs up real quick actually. Oh, over that crest, you can kind of hear how quickly the car just goes through the revs, man. What an interesting sounding engine. It sounds like a V8, but it has an element of VR6 to it, which is really cool. And when you upshift, it does like a boom from the back end. There's like a thud from the exhaust. It's too bad there's hardly any of these around because I would totally daily one of these. I mean, the fuel consumption would probably be pretty awful, but when it makes a sound that interesting, that's getting on the move, man. This thing is really quick, but with the windows up, really quiet, really smooth, beautiful 6-speed manual gear change. Sits at like 2200 revs on the motorway, and of course 4-wheel drive, so no issues putting any of the power down. For such an oddball car that no one's really ever heard of before, you wouldn't expect it to be that great, but this thing's fantastic, eh? And it really gets going, eh? First, second and third are your power gears, man. That's where this thing really gets on the move. So there we go, the W8 Passat. I would recommend you buy one, but you're going to have a very, very hard time finding one, certainly in New Zealand, because the owner of this has no plans on selling it at all, and the other two are who knows where. But if you can find one, and you can find one reasonably cheap, you're going to be left with a car that no one else has, that is actually nonetheless a brilliant car to drive. So there we go. Thanks for watching this episode of Kiwi Car Life. And if you want to see some more oddball cars that I've reviewed, then click on the links popping up right about now, and I'll look forward to seeing you again next time.